Scott Brown.
Yay! Woohoo!
Go to JimCoberLive.com where you can check us out on YouTube. See Scott do his thing live. He's from Edgewater Family Wealth, in business for 37 years here in Central Florida, giving sage advice.
Very sage.
On how to protect and turn your money into some long-term income and all those fun things. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing outstanding. How's everybody?
It was good, man. Good. It's good to have some weather that we can tolerate.
Oh yeah, it's beautiful. It was surprisingly nice yesterday. I went for a walk all by myself, which I don't normally do.
Yeah.
It was wonderful.
And then you and I met up on Sunday.
We
to have
did.
a little chat and stuff, and we get there, and it's just like miserable. And I'm like, "What are you doing the rest of the day?" And I was just asking him. He's like, "I'm just piled up on the couch and watch TV with my wife all day."
There you go.
Yeah, I'm watching some HBO show about the Gilded Age.
Oh,
The robber barons.
Yeah, that's right. We were just talking about that Sunday.
Yes.
Jack and I just finished True Detective, the newest HBO
With the
offering.
Jodie Foster one?
That's right.
Yes, very cool.
Yeah.
We did the same thing on Sunday. It's like we came in on the couch and we wanted to go see the new Bob Marley movie. Just looked outside. It's like, let's just stay here.
Yeah.
That
Couch
thing-
was nice.
That thing destroyed this weekend. Did you see how much money that movie
it did
made?
well.
Almost $30 million.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah, it was very
Come
good.
on.
But so Scott, obviously here from Edgewater Family Wealth, and what they do is portfolio management, among other things. Right?
Financial planning, portfolio management. We'll wash your car if you want. We don't care.
Sweet. You will not. You will not watch anybody's
I
car.
could get somebody to wash your car.
Yeah, I'm sure you could. Every week when we do the segment, Scott that morning will send us a couple things to talk about that he covers in a lot of his seminars, which we'll tell you about a little bit later. An opportunity for you to meet Scott and get some advice as you move forward, trying to make your life a little bit better. And now's the time to do it, especially if you're in your 30s and listening to this show.
Get on it.
You are in the perfect wheelhouse time. If you are in moving towards your 40s, you still have time to make the right decisions. But this week you wanted to talk about health is wealth. And that is an old saying from a long time. Like your health is your wealth.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't matter how much money you have. If you're not in good shape, if you can't manage yourself, it's a little different. But what do you mean by it?
Well, I mean, studies have shown that wealthy people live longer. I mean, I did an enrollment earlier today. I spoke at a 401k enrollment. I was telling people, statistically, you want to accumulate money because you'll live longer, you'll live a healthier life. And they're like, well, what does one have to do with the other? But statistically, the affluent live on average 10 years longer than poor folks. And the reasons are obvious, right? There's nutrition. You can afford better nutrition, right?
Yeah.
You can afford better health care. You can afford to exercise. You can buy time. I'm always talking about buying time with your wealth. You can buy the time because you think about it, the average person who maybe isn't of significant means. And as a young person, I was here. I mowed my own lawn. I changed my own oil. I did all these tasks that people do on a day-to-day basis because they can't afford the help. But what happens is once you become affluent, you exchange some of your wealth for time. And what a lot of affluent people do with their time is exercise and go to health care and meet with the nutritionist. So you think, these are all frou-frou-y, poo-poo-y things, but people live longer, healthier lives who have more money, bottom line.
And stress. Another thing is, too, because you don't have that stress of making that bill. And I will tell you straight up, that's what I saw. Now, Scott, you can learn to be poor. Like, I grew up very humbly. My wife grew up humbly, so we have that same kind of background. Ross grew up humbly.
Same.
Jack grew up in a family like 7 or 8 kids. So, everybody understands in these rooms, Deb the same way.
Yep.
Everybody in these rooms understands that. And when you grow up, and I tell this story as well, one of the biggest, most driving factors for me to want to do something with my life is watching how much stress my family went through as, 40-hour day-to-day, furniture workers, workers at pulp mills, at banks, trying to get by every week. And I hated the fact that my family perpetually was in financial trouble. And I could see the toll it took on my mom and my grandma and my dad, my uncles and stuff. And I never wanted to deal with that. And I know for a fact that even as a young man, when I was struggling with my print shop, same thing.
Yep.
You just wore that. It was just hard to shake that stress of not being able to know if you're going to make your power bill, if you're not going to be able to go on that field trip with your kid, or make the mortgage this week.
Also wanted to point out that another thing that helps with stress is working out, running.
100%.
It has changed my life in the last 2 years. I don't know what or who I would be if I didn't fall in love with running. I ran today. It helps me out mentally speaking way more than I ever thought. And here comes the best part, financially speaking, it's free.
Yeah. So the endorphins you get from that, I mean, they are stress relieving. I am very conscious when I've had a stressful day that I got to hit the gym because I can feel my head about to pop off. So, but if you're living that life day in and day out and you're worried about bills, you're worried, you have anxiety, the field trip thing, that happened to me in my life. I remember I was literally just thinking about this the other day. My mom had to tell me, no.
Space camp.
You can't go to SeaWorld.
I was close.
At that moment because it was $50. And that was like all the money in the world to my family at that time. And I understood it. I would probably throw a tantrum for a second, but I understood it and I still understand it. So you don't. And again, these things don't get fixed overnight. You have to make a conscious effort to say, how do I get into a position where I can exchange some affluence or money or cash or whatever you want to call it for the opportunity to be healthier, live a less stressful life? Because, wealthy people have stress, but, they have the means to get over it.
Right. It's a different kind of stress.
So you want to try to, and you don't have to be a billionaire or even a millionaire, but you have to get to a point where you're not waking up and I was this guy where you wake up every morning and you're like, I got 3 bills, I got to pick 2 of them. What am I going to do? So you have to start making a conscious effort to get yourself out of that. And to my point, earliest point, my main point is you'll live a happier, longer life. That's just the facts are hard to ignore.
Yeah. I was talking to my son as we were coming up, and I was trying to kind of instill some ethos in him to be responsible and stuff. I said when you grow up and you don't understand, if you're entitled and you grow up, you don't understand the value of anything, right?
Yep.
I said, but when you grow up, and you're watching people make the choice between gas and milk. A gallon of gas to get to work or a gallon of milk to feed my kids breakfast tomorrow morning. When you see people making that decision on the weekly, you understand what effect that can have on a family. And by the way, the kids watch you as you're making these decisions.
Absolutely.
They're paying attention to the decisions you're making, and they're soaking that up, by the way. So be cognizant of that when you're out there kind of making those decisions.
And then you get so stressed out that you accidentally go, is that milk or gas? Gas or milk? And now the Lucky Charms is ruined.
This explains a lot.
The kid is sick. The kid is sick. Now that's more bills.
Yeah. I mean, and that's another great point, though, Ross, that I think you accidentally made, which is
I definitely did. That was 100% joke.
Well, you're going to be brilliant in a second. So, I mean, that's the other part of it is when people don't have the means to get good health care, they put off things. So that pain or that rash or that whatever, they ignore it, and then by the time they actually are forced to go deal with it, it costs 10 times as much.
Exactly.
Because it's gotten away from them.
Exactly.
So, I mean, and the other part of it is being able to wealth. If you learn about wealth yourself, let's say you're a young parent and you learn and you're curious, it gives you the opportunity to then teach it to your children. Because that's the problem a lot of my wife and I mentor a few young people who come from tougher socioeconomic situations. And what we've learned from these kids is it's not that their parents don't want to help them with the 401k or the whatever. They don't know anything about it.
Yeah.
They don't understand it. They've never been taught themselves. Now you're dealing with a 50-year-old parent of a 20-year-old young college student who they're like, well, talk to me about financial aid. Talk to me about a bank account. They can't answer the question.
No clue whatsoever.
Right.
I mean, think about it now. I mean, one of the biggest comedy tropes for a long time has been, my kid comes home with 6th grade math and I don't know how to help them out with their homework type thing. So if that's the case, I mean, they're certainly not going to be able to add any guidance when it comes to their financial well-being.
No, 100%. And so again, money, people see money as this binary thing. Either you have it or you don't, and it's good or it's bad, or rich people are bad or they're good or whatever. Listen, it's a more complex, nuanced conversation. There is more than meets the eye here. And again, I realize it's hard. I've said it 1,000 times on the show. It's not complex. It's hard, right? If you take the complexity out of it and just start taking steps today to better yourself, become curious, make changes in your life, get healthy, whatever it is, these things take care of themselves over time.
And by the way, I also don't want people to misconceive what you can do for them as well. Yes, you are a money manager. Yes,
Sure.
you are a portfolio manager. But in reality, you're also a teacher. So as you do business with you, and just in our short conversations that we've had on and off the air, you kind of learn about what's happening. It's not like you're just going to take the money and go put it somewhere. You're going to tell somebody why you're doing this, why this works, how this earns money. And then they're able to pass those lessons on to their kids. And then you create a cycle of this. Hey, I don't know if you know this. This could be 3 simple moves you tell a kid at 15 years old as they're mowing lawns and saving money for their first car. It trickles down, no question.
Yeah, that's one of my goals is when I do like to teach, but my wife tells me all the time, you're a teacher at heart, because I love to see the expression on somebody's face when they're like, you're right. That's not hard. I could do that thing.
It's
right?
doable. Yeah.
Yeah, it is doable. So yeah, I totally agree. One of the if somebody comes in and we don't educate them, they're harder to talk to, for one thing. If you have an uneducated client who is just speaking from social media or something they saw on TV, they're hard to communicate with. If you can slow them down, back them up, have them take a deep breath, sit them down and say, look, this is how all this stuff really works. Then the next time they come in, we're speaking the same language.
Right.
But if they continue to go down the path of noise, of crypto or meme or whatever it is, and they don't want to be curious and they don't want to learn, they're much harder for me to deal with.
Right. How many people do you have come in and you sit down, you go through them, and then they go, well, that's not what Dave Ramsey said.
Well, and I like Dave. Don't get me wrong. I'm a Dave fan. Dave's done a lot of good for a lot of people. He has a niche, and his niche is, and Dave keeps it simple: pay off your debt, save in a mutual fund or whatever it is. Those are all wonderful things, and I think there's a place for that. There's the next level that we usually deal with, where people have accumulated wealth, and we're trying to help them with more complicated issues.
All right, 407-916-1041. Here with Scott Brown from Edgewater Family Wealth, 37 years in the business over there in the College Park area. Let's move on to the next one, because I think this is interesting. I don't even know what you mean by this.
Yeah.
Why financial products are neither good nor bad. So now, you would think that is an obvious no, because you'd be like, well, crypto is bad. Like, there's a definite bad there with crypto, but crypto's having a little bit of a resurgence.
Crypto, it's like I make the same stupid old man joke every time. A hammer's great for driving a nail, not so good for washing windows, right? So, the truth of the matter is, crypto isn't bad or good. Crypto is just an investment vehicle or a store of wealth. It might work, it might not work. The same is true of annuities. The same is true of stocks. The same is true of mutual funds. The same is true of ETFs. And I could keep going down the list of financial products. And people will say, they will come into my office and they'll say, Scott, I hate annuities. And I'm like, okay, why do you hate annuities? They're just bad. Okay. Well, I'm going to need a little more nuance than they're just bad, right? But something happened in their lives, or their dad told them, or their uncle told them. Listen, annuities are not good and they're not bad. There are instances when annuities make some sense. They're not, in my opinion, that often, but there are reasons to use them. A mutual fund is not good or bad. A mutual fund is just a tool. A bond is not good or bad. It's a tool. If you're looking to get 20% growth a year, which, by the way, you're not going to get, but let's just say you think that, a bond is not the tool you want to use, right? You want to buy an aggressive stock. On the other hand, if you want to get tax-free income at 3 or 4%, a municipal bond's going to work really well for that.
Yeah.
So, again, people come into my office frequently with these bias and these opinions that they're just stuck with, and it's binary, good or bad. There is no good or bad. There's just what makes sense for what you're trying to accomplish.
Right. Yeah, that's probably half the battle with the first couple of meetings, just chipping away the stuff they've heard, or what their dad or mom or their brother's friend told them over the years.
Awful. I got a few that I'm still chipping away at after 30 years.
My question is, someone walks in, I always look at, saving money or our financial efforts. The thing that I would think you need the most outside of a job is just discipline.
Yeah.
So how do you can have conversations, you can bring a horse right to the water, but at the end of the day, how do you instill discipline?
I mean, Ross, and you're right. People that come to me, usually they come because they've already kind of got it, or they know they need it. So they are the horse that's willing to drink. I don't have to shove their head under the water most of the time.
That makes sense, because people who are not into money, why are, they're not going to be going into the money man himself.
Well, and so one of the ways we do this is like this kind of stuff, where we're having large, broad discussions in public about, you need to understand. Again, I hate to keep saying this tagline, but it's not complex. It's hard. You just need to put the effort into it. And I know it sounds simple, and I know people are probably going, oh, it's easy for him to say kind of thing. But the reality is you can't teach people discipline per se, but maybe you can help them adjust their habits over time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it is weird because it is a bit of a metaphor workout. I mean, I know that was part of it, because you can't just go, I would really like to be ripped and then never go to the gym.
Right.
I mean, and then when you
that's
go
not what I saw in the ad the other day.
And then when you go to the gym, you walk around for half an hour. You're like, well, I went to the gym, nothing happened.
Right.
Yeah, you didn't go in there and do anything. I mean, you just going there doesn't mean anything.
I know one little rule that's helped me out when it comes to purchases, because what is the sticker? What's the thing that it's those impulse buys? That's why all the candy bars are right next to the cashier. And that one advertisement on social media that flashes and it says limited, so you pull the trigger on it. 2 weeks, man. Any purchase that I know that is like really, I know it's not needed. Because how many times have you purchased something going, God, I want this right now? And then 2 weeks, you may not have even looked at it.
Right.
You moved on to the next thing.
Yeah.
So whatever like purchase when it's that in that one category, if you still want it 2 weeks from now, then, revisit. I know that's one rule that's helped me out a lot. I've saved a lot of dumb purchases just playing this weird 2 week, or I'll wait until the end of the month.
Yeah, I think it's part of it is the learning process. If some people just never learn, and I hate to say that, but if you've done something, you've been the consumer, you've overconsumed, and you've realized, as you have, Ross, that this is a path to nowhere, really. Once if you haven't changed and you're 40 and you're still spending too much, you still got $15,000 worth of credit card debt. Now you're 50 and you got $60,000 worth of credit card debt. You still haven't paid off your student loans. It's like you basically said, I want to stay the same person.
Yeah.
I don't want to change. I want to be this person. I want to get, because sometimes you'll meet people, and I'm sure this has happened to everybody in this room, where you'll meet somebody and they'll say, well, maybe you knew them 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, you've changed. Well, no crap. 20 years later.
20 years.
I hope I did. Well, what?
I mean, why wouldn't I change? Of course I've changed.
I think this is a morbid question, but what happens to debt when it comes to older people who end up passing? What does that debt? Someone's got to get it. It goes through their family.
Sometimes they're
the first boy named Ross.
Yes, he gets it all. Yeah, so I mean, the reality is, and I'm not giving legal advice here, but what I have witnessed is that depends on the registration. So if you and your wife had a joint credit card, they're going to come after you for that debt.
Yeah.
If she had it on her own, there's really, I'm not giving legal advice. It's just my understanding is it's more difficult for them to get at it that way. So a lot of times, credit card companies and debt collectors have to eat it when somebody passes away, which is an extreme way to get out of the debt. By the way.
Sell it to a collector or whatever. Yeah. So I know you have some seminars coming up. The one here for February is shut down. It's already sold out.
Done. So is the first March one.
Oh, is it really? It's
March 20th shut down, so we're doing March 27th as well.
Are you going to add one?
We added one.
That's great.
Yes.
And I'm glad, because the funny thing is, and this is not, I had no idea this was happening. My daughter listens to the show.
Yeah.
She just got a really nice job, finally starting to make a little bit of money in her life. And the first thing she said is, she goes, I want a meeting with Scott. I want to get off on the right foot. I'm making a little bit of money now. I can put money away. And she wants to learn how to do that. 26 years old.
Love it.
Just making the first step. That's what she's doing.
That's the hard one.
She's just taking, not a math genius, not any of that. She's just taking the first step. She just wants to make a plan. And it made me so proud to hear her say that. And hopefully the rest of my crew will follow along.
So many times in life, as soon as you get that inertia going, the rest takes its course.
100%.
Yeah. It's just scary sometimes. You just think you're making a big thing, but when you sit down and have a conversation, like a little consultation, and you find out there are no boogeymen, there's no monster behind the door, and it's just maybe doing exactly slow and low, like you're cooking a brisket, that everything can be fine.
Yeah, there's no algebra involved. I won't ask you to do calculus. A lot of people are so intimidated by the process, but we're doing an event. Obviously, the 20th is sold out now, so March 27th is the next one. You can go to edgewaterfamilywealth.com, and the website should now be updated to direct you to the event on the 27th.
Yeah, that's edgewaterfamilywealth.com. Another seminar coming up in late March. Get your ticket now. The other ones have sold out. February's gone. The first March date is gone. We're adding a March date. Again, that's March
27th is the second one.
Very good.
Yeah.
And those are usually like lunchtime dates, right?
We do lunch dates. Usually that's about an hour to an hour and a half. We'll feed you a nice, not brisket, but a nice meal nonetheless. I love brisket, by the way. But yeah, it's a really nice event, and it's geared towards both sets of people. We call them accumulators and refiners. Accumulators are folks like your daughter who are just getting started and trying to learn the basics, and the refiners are people who have a pretty good nest egg and want to figure out how to better utilize it.
Jim, you mentioned sold out. It is a free event, right?
It is a free event
to the public. So you want to get it before it fills up, and I think I'm going to do that too.
You're right. I should say booked.
Yeah.
It's booked up. Yeah. So it doesn't cost anything to go to the event.
Nope. It's free. Jack will be there, so it'll be wonderful.
He's making the food. It's
Jack
great.
is going to teach you all about finance.
All right. Good and loud for Scott Brown, guys.
Yeah, baby! Save money!
EdgewaterFamilyWealth.com. Go there, book an appointment with Scott, one of his advisors there. Get off on a good foot. And, of course, if you have the opportunity, get a seat at this March 27th event coming up. It could change your life. You never know. Could set you on that path to really, really, really refining what you do with your financial well-being. Scott, good seeing you, buddy.
Loved it. Thank you.
407-916-1041. Text us 77031. Load them up. Trivia's next. And we have some cool tickets in there. We'll tell you what that is next.
We have a prize. You have a Get on board at 407 910